think it's cool, guys. I don't think she's around. Hello everybody, this is Farrell, and I am here on the Hermitcraft Many Worlds, kind of not quite the Minecraft, not the Hermitcraft, not the anyone's craft server, but this is kind of my Many World server, so I'm kind of going out on my own here, and this is my downloaded copy of the Hermitcraft 3 world we're going to be taking today, and we're going to be visiting Falsesymmetry's base. And, well, if you've seen some of my recent episodes, you may actually recognize UHC skin here. We kind of had a little bit of a run-in with False, so I've decided that I'd be kind of nice and pop over to her base, and, well, let me pop into my first-person view here, and you're going to see that I'm... Oh, sorry. Okay, I'm sorry, I can't keep that up. The amount of energy that you need to have to keep up running commentary like False, just absolutely amazing. No, in all seriousness, I'm back on the Many Worlds map here, or more specifically the Hermitcraft 3 season map on my Many Worlds server, and I'm going to be kind of saying a nice little thank you to False for, you know, giving me such a memorable moment in the UHC that, you know, not the UHC, the Extreme UHC, let's be honest here. I decided to just kind of leave her a little bit of a, well, not so much gift, because obviously I'll certainly have more, I would have no problem inviting her over to the server to get a glimpse of it and everything person, but yeah, I just wanted to kind of come over and, I mean, if you kind of look at her base, it's really amazing when you see it. But then there's just all sorts of other things that just haven't been done with it. And yeah, I mean, this is kind of like the backstage view, I guess, of her base. That, you know, you don't see that side of it when you're watching the videos and everything. But there's parts in here that could really definitely benefit from being spruced up, and I don't mean just like down here. What I'm really thinking more of, I mean, I certainly have no problems going over here and maybe kind of sprucing up this hall a little bit and putting an actual bridge out the back of it, but if you go up in her build here, which I will certainly say this about her build, I'm going to have quite a bit of a challenge building something that actually thematically fits with everything here. So seriously, if you haven't had a chance to go out and grab a copy of the Season 3 world from the Hermitcraft server, do so, because it is really an inspiring build. Now you can see here, I've got some stuff here. You'll notice that, well actually, I guess let's deal with the first question. What am I even doing over here when I set rules for myself? I said, no, I'm not allowed back on Hermitcraft until I actually finish up a build, and then I can come over here and steal all sorts of other stuff out of the resources over here. Well, I'm going to make a little exception to that, and the exception to that is going to be if I come over to Hermitcraft to work on a build over here. For example, if I wanted to, for instance, finish up something on False's base, or if I wanted to go over to Suma's base and work on the lower storage levels of his base. He's openly posted he's openly said, yeah, go ahead and try to finish off and let me know what it looks like. So for things like that, I'm willing to kind of bend the rules a little bit and allow myself over, but with every exception, there's got to be another exception. And the trick of it is you'll notice I am not wearing anything. I certainly don't have any of my decent tools over here. I've got real junk in terms of food, which is going to make this even more annoying. I've left myself the condition that I can't bring anything from my main Spumcraft world over to here if I do that. So I have to leave everything behind. Back in my base in Spumcraft, there is a chest, and it's got everything I had in my inventory, including my armor. Now, the only thing I am taking with me, unfortunately, it's my experience, and that's just because I'm really not willing to go through the hassle of cheating away my experience and then bringing it back. That's just going to be kind of a side effect of my little journey. But that's kind of cool anyways, because, you know, going out and trying to build in something like this is, in a way, my own way of actually building up real world, well, I call it real world experience, kind of real Minecraft experience. I don't know what to call it. But, you know, to come over here and kind of work in this area and be able to walk around and say, okay, well, if I want to try to kind of take this style but take it in a slightly different direction, that's what I'm kind of looking for. So one of the spots I had come over here and looked at previously was the outdoor terrace here. And this is just something that's got a, well, it had a pretty nice view right up until Shrek and the Mumbo prank came along. But, you know, it still could actually use that a little more of a terracey feel to it. It's nice and open, but there's nothing out here. There's no real reason to come out and kind of hang out on this thing. So I'm kind of thinking that could be one of the things would be to come along and build this into a genuine terrace, like a patio, a porch, whatever you want to call it. So that's thought number one. Thought number two, if I remember right, if I go down in this general direction, there's another spot here which says room 1 of 3. Now, if I were to keep going up False's stack here, I will find kind of the same thing in some of the other areas, if I remember right. And wow, my game is just really lagging on this. The server I'm running the amplified system on is doing okay with this. My system, however, despite all of its processing power, is unfortunately not. But yep, you can see there's room 2 of 3. And again, if I go up another level, there's going to be a room 3 of 3 up there. So there's 3 rooms on the left side of this base that were never built. And you've got this kind of natural transition that's going on as you go up as well, because down here it's mostly about the stone textures, your cobble, a little bit of your wood, and as you go up it kind of transitions into the trees and the fences and the leaves over there. And by the time you hit this level, it starts to kind of transition more up to the specific solid wood stuff instead of necessarily not quite so much of the leaves. It's certainly still spread around in the vines and everything. But there's a definite transition that's going on here. And of course you've got the floating water out on the outside, and it looks like there might be even more levels. I really haven't finished exploring all of this because it would take me forever and a day to do that. So here's the 3rd level. That's our room 3 of 3, which has a really... Can I turn up my render distance here? Because that would actually be pretty cool. Go up to 15 chunks and see if I can do that. I don't know what I have the server currently set to, but that's a lot better. It's going to make this as laggy as heck, but that's a lot better. So there's certainly more up here. I mean, there's a pumpkin up there that's kind of exposed, actually. That needs to be kind of covered up a little bit. So that's kind of what I'm thinking of. There's a lot of stuff that you can kind of finish off in this base. And no, this is not, as much as the opening of the video might be a prelude to it, no, I'm not pranking False. I'm not angry at False for what she did in the UHC. I'm not going to flip out and wig out and do something like turn her base into like a Pac-Man ghost or anything. Though that would actually be really cool if I could pull that off. No, not going to do that. Not going to do that. I am absolutely serious when I say I'm coming up here to strictly do essentially a build challenge, I guess you could call it. Giving myself the challenge of, can I finish off something in False's base? Now, the downside is you can see I've been to Rusty's Pearls here. Pick up some extra stuff. There's not much, and I've got a little bit of extra food, but really, she's cleaned out her base. I say that, of course, and then I open the one chest that actually does have plenty of stuff in it. Don't know how much of this I'm actually going to be able to use. You can see I've stopped off, and I've kind of focused mostly on the wood side of things. See, I don't really have anything specific in mind, so that's kind of where the challenge is really going to be coming from. Because, like I said, the base transitions as you go up here. So you have certain decorations. Actually, let me do this. I should set my spawn over here. Did you leave anything? Okay, there's still some stuff to work with here. That's good. Not going to be completely without resources, but it's going to be slim pickings. As I said in the... Oops, some more apples. Good. Oh, and there's... Okay, hang on. I need to actually set this to cooking if I can. I do have to be careful because I do not have... Obviously, I have no armor, no feather falling boots, and no weaponry of any kind aside from the pick. False's Mountain, yep. Yes, I don't think there's much I can really do on the top of the mountain here. We've already got the dome up here, and this is kind of just grassed in. I might be able to do something with that. I'm not entirely sure. Let me kind of think about this a little bit off camera here and figure out while I'm waiting for the better food to cook up here about what I might be able to do with... Actually, the irony of this just hit me, folks. False, I'm taking back my mutton. We are taking back the Spumcraft team's mutton here. This is now our mutton. Thank you. We'll call that returned with interest. Oh, the irony. I think what I am actually going to do is settle down and work on one of the rooms to the side first. It's not going to be as prominent of a build, but it is definitely going to be something that can kind of get my feet wet, get a little inspired in here. Provided, of course, I can manage to stop rambling and actually do something, because one of the things I really do need to do is get somewhere and pick up some... I've definitely got to pick up some torches, make some torches for up here. And unfortunately, all I've seen is just the one. Not quite enough for what I have in mind. Okay, so interesting thing. I start digging back from the entrance here. It looks like we could kind of put a neat little alcove out here. Maybe, I mean, not so much necessarily a porch extending straight out, because unfortunately none of this has been lit up. I've got the NEI light indicators set up here. So I don't want something that anything could spawn on and jump inside. So maybe not necessarily a porch, but kind of a viewing area that's been built into the back here. What I'm kind of thinking is really that this base has everything except really a bedroom in it. And that's kind of what I'm thinking of. Either a bedroom or a bedroom kind of office-like area in a ways. Just kind of a... It doesn't really feel like it's... You know, it's functional as a storage facility. It's functional as a breeding area once you manage to actually get something to spawn up here. And, you know, if you're going to have that sort of setup thing, let's actually take care of this real quick. I got a couple of torches put together here just to very quickly deal with this little issue here, because I'm no professional Minecrafter, and frankly, I really would rather not have a creeper show up behind me, and then I have to try to sit down and rebuild everything. But yeah, I'm kind of thinking this is... I want to do something here, so I'm just kind of getting an idea and a feel for the shape. Now, the good news is because I've got Journey Map, I have some idea of what kind of shape I have to work with. So you can see there's that really, if I'm going to do any sort of entrance, it makes more sense for this to be kind of an offset entrance to the room. That, or, you know, because the way this room is actually this shape here, this is kind of more like an offset area, and this would be like if I wanted to make this a sitting room or a TV room or something, you know, like a theater, I could work something like that into here. So the screen would be down on this side, and this would be kind of the top level of the theater. Now, I don't want to do that because, as you might notice, I'm on top of gravel here, and underneath that, just in a few layers, the mountain starts to scale back. So I really don't want to dig too much further than that. In fact, really kind of my line is going to be right about in this general area here. I really don't want to go any further than this direction in terms of building anything, because then that leaves me this much to do my viewing platform with here. So this is the amount of space I've got to work with. And the good news is I can certainly continue this up another level. So let's go ahead and do that. I'll be back with you guys when I've got a little more progress to show. Did I mention that this thing is a little bit of a death trap? I was just down the hall, and all of a sudden I turned down to look, or just down towards the platform down there. I turn around and I look, and next thing I know, I've got a zombie coming up at my face there. So, yeah, not the safest base in the universe, unfortunately. So if you are doing a little bit of building on here, do kind of take care and be prepared to either block yourself in, which I think that is probably what I'm going to do to be on the safe side for now. And, yeah, just kind of watch your backs. Oh, hello. I don't think you're anybody's. Yeah, you're definitely not anybody's. You're a natural spawn. Come on, get up there. Okay, that was a way of getting up there. Not a perfectly valid idea to do that. Not without some feather falling boots, but getting it back, it's a little less annoying than having to ride the minecart elevator up. Or worse, take it by foot. Let me get back to work here. Actually, I might as well show you what I've got so far before I pop back down to get some leather. And you'll see why I'm looking for empty item frames at this point. This is what I've built so far. The idea is we've got some pretty major supports holding up, because I mean this is a mountain after all. There's quite a bit of stuff up there, so the supports I'm putting in should not be slight by any measure of the imagination. And the intent with the buttons is that's kind of my way of, let's drop off some of this stuff too while I'm talking about this. It's kind of my way of saying, oh, this is well, it's just the fact that the spruce ties in very nicely with the spruce log when you look at it this way. So you get kind of the neat little texture to it. It's so from here, so what I would really like to do would be to put an item frame here, just an empty one, and that will take away from some of this and make it look a little more like the log end itself there. Like I said, there's plenty over here, but that rule that I set for myself that I can't take advantage of any of those sorts of things, that's gonna hurt, but probably not as much as it's going to hurt when I do this next little thing. So I need to get over to the cow farm over there. Not far off. Yeah, it adds a little bit of the spruce color just in the right spot. It kind of, well, it does kind of accentuate the darkness on the side a little bit. Alright, so, yeah, you know that thing about not losing or gaining XP from coming over here? I don't think I really have to worry about that. I just died trying to enderpearl back and forth between Cleo's base, because, actually from Cleo's base, the general direction of that base, over towards the, I just turned to cow tipper. Tried to enderpearl up to False's base up there, because it's a real pain to have to keep going back and forth up and down the elevator here. And, well, maybe I kind of need to not worry about that and just take the darn elevator, because, yeah, that just hurt. I was at about 16 levels before I just died there, and now I've got, unfortunately, not much of anything, and a long walk up the elevator of shame now. But that's okay, because I can take you up here and I can show you some of the progress I've done. Jeez, False, how did you not die to 20 million creepers on this thing? I mean, this is just a platform just waiting to have creepers spawn. So yeah, I've been doing quite a bit more work over here, and really just about have the room almost done. I'm kind of putting the finishing touches on it now, which is actually why I'm okay with coming back and actually showing everyone here in the audience, as if you're actually in front of me or anything, just kind of showing you guys what I've put together here. Oh, too far up. And yeah, I haven't done, you know, again, this is all non-destructive building here. I did bring up a a water source, a couple of water sources to set them up. I'm kind of hanging out here because I don't want to show it just yet. And everything here is pretty much the same. Again, like I said, I was kind of going for a little bit of kind of a bedroom look for up here that kind of matches, sorta, like what has been done up here. So kind of take what you're seeing in here, and I'm not going to be so much about the random leaf blocks or anything, but just really take it and see what I can do to kind of build along those similar lines. Now, I did go a little bit more blue than perhaps I should have. But yeah, you can see I've kind of, I went with a little bit, here's a nice little bed in here. Unfortunately, when you cover the bed up with carpet, it says your bed was missing or destroyed, so I had to schlep all the way back over here from the iron farm where I spawned in. And yeah, this is kind of, I wanted to tie in the running water idea, and that gives it a little bit of a blue color to it, which I really do like. I think kind of, like if you look at this hall, it just kind of seems, I mean it works, but it's kind of blah, whereas you've got the water here which is giving you really nice accents along with the darker wood. Now I didn't go with the dark wood, with the spruce or dark oak here. I actually still went with that regular old oak, and I think it came out pretty okay. So I've got some lamps on the wall back here, and there's actually, the reason why it actually kind of looks like they're somewhat lit up is there's actually glowstone tucked up way up there to try to lend an idea that there might be some light down, down in that area. And the trapdoor is because underneath here is kind of a little bit of a water feature, and I wanted to be able to create a way that you could kind of go down into it. I still haven't figured out what to do with this back wall, so that's definitely not finished at this point. But the idea with the furnaces here is it's kind of like, oh, that's your water source, and it's kind of trickling out down into here and filling up your nice little pond here. So there's lighting hidden at various places around here, and of course you can get in and out of here at least. So, but I mean, you know how you have those sort of those sleep aids that kind of the sounds of nature, and it's like trickling water and thunderstorms and all that. That was kind of my approach, and I actually might even just leave that wall as is, because it doesn't look all that bad. Or maybe at most, I did bring back some mossy stone with me, because I went over to, oh, I forget whose base it was. I was popping through. That's why I came back over, and I was at one point up on top of the signs, which was great, but then I managed to blow it trying to get up to here. I forget whose base it was over there, but there was that's where I found the leather and found the mossy cobble. And yeah, I kind of like it because it is a block that's going to kind of tie in a little bit with the side, the kind of the ceiling here, where I've got the leaves and a little bit of ceiling detail to kind of break it up from being a flat plane. This is kind of like almost a little bit of a wall mural behind it, actually. So I think that kind of looks pretty good. And let's go ahead and tuck some of our last details on here. And I'm also going to need the spruce fences, because I kind of went back and I looked at these and I said, yeah, they kind of look a little okay. Trick is it's very hard to orient these fences once they actually get placed. I actually decided to turn them sideways just because they fit a little better at the block. But you have to be pretty much on the money to get these guys to... And put the buttons back. Okay. So yep, the end cap here, this is kind of the first spot I had finished with. This was this little wall here, and then that kind of turned into wanting to pull in a little bit of the blue and leaving it open just enough that you could glimpse down into there. Work with some of the lapis blocks I found. I may kind of tune that back a little bit, actually, now that I'm thinking of it, because it's almost a little too much blue over there. So let's actually go over here, and you can see not all of this is really done up too fancy. Oh, that's much better, actually. Taking that out is a huge improvement. So yeah, there's more room down here that I could go through, and it's actually kind of a neat little thing I did was I layered this wall. It's not a flat wall through here, so you have a little bit of space back there, and there's lighting back there that I've got quasi hidden by the fence. So that keeps this end of the wall of the hallway kind of intact, and kind of disguises the fact that there is that little bit there, and the fact that I've got, you can see there's a button there I'm highlighting and a button there, so that, you know, the rest of this is still more or less there waiting to be finished if I opt to do that. But I think that's where I'm going to kind of call this particular build. I don't really have anything else in mind. Oh, yeah, that's right. The doors here actually do conceal. They actually do conceal lighting in here. I left that one empty because I need to get another armor stand. That's what they're all really here for. These are the closets for the bedroom. And, you know, there's spruce doors to try to blend into the area. And actually, while I'm thinking of it, because I said no taking anything back with me, I don't want to stay over here too long because I do need to actually get this episode finished and quote-unquote in the bag, I guess you could call it, so that I can pop back over. Well, first I got to edit the thing and get this out there, but yeah, I do need to get back to what I was working on over on Spumcraft. Oh, sure, You know what? No. I am going to call this... Actually, let's... One more item frame left. I was about ready to sit there and say, no, I'm going to break the rules of my own game and say that, no, I had to... Okay, fine, let's eat. You know, that I could bring the mutton back with me. And frankly, I probably still am, because it's only fair. I mean, you know, this is just karma balancing itself out, right? That, you know, okay, she took mutton from us, and I'm going to be taking mutton back from her. So I think I am going to let myself do this. And really, I've got plenty of food back on Spumcraft anyway, so this is more symbolic than anything else. So I just do like, and underneath the bed it's all half slabbed under there, just because I need to be able to support the actual bed under that. I do like the water kind of flowing out from under here and how you can just see it. Unfortunately, you can also just barely see the pumpkins too, which kind of ruins it. I might come back and maybe put cobble back there or something that's going to look a little more like a furniture. Maybe just black wool or something so it looks a little more like it might blend in with the bottom side of the furnace there. That's really why I've got the furnaces there. They work really well with that half slab and kind of look like it might be letting out some stuff, but unfortunately you can't do water half slabs. Oh, if only. Could you imagine that if that was even possible? Wow. Mind blown. So yeah, I'm rambling. I'm going to go ahead and find a safe way back down here. I need to go to that portal to head back to... Oh, and this is going to hurt too.